One of these two movies is currently flaming international tensions by dreading up historical border disputes, and it's probably not the one you're expecting. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the Oppenheimer film eventually does it too, though. What's hilarious about this is all the controversy stems from this horribly drawn map for probably comedic purposes. I'm actually just kind of impressed that a country found a way to somehow be mad about this. Now, there's actually multiple places involved, but I first heard about Vietnam banning the movie because of the map. But now I'm also hearing the Philippines are even considering banning the movie also because of the South China Sea map. If you didn't already know, the South China Sea has been hotly contested for a while now. There's obviously a lot of nations involved, so this has caused a lot of chaos. Where even is this South China Sea, though? Maybe there's another shot of it, but from this image, I ain't seeing nothing but squiggly lines and a turtle. What's funny is I'm sure whoever designed this map tried to make it as inoffensive as possible, and yet here we are. I guess everything is stemming from the line with 9 dashes. The 9-dash line was repudiated in an international court, and what's most crazy about this is it doesn't just make one country mad, it makes several. Wait, is there another line with 9 dashes? Because I'm only counting 8 here. Imagine being the intern who just happened to draw too many lines, getting the entire movie completely banned from a country. I can see myself accidentally doing something like that. People, the US has no original culture. Meanwhile, the US. This is pretty much one of the most American things I've ever seen in my life. And everyone always predicted instead of pinup girls, we would actually have anime girls on the World War III bombers. But nope, it's actually just Barbie and Ken. The USA phasing out cluster munitions since 2016. Also NATO banning most cluster munitions. Then there's Ukraine between the two of them, asking for them for almost a year. Oh no, if the US and NATO can't save the day, then who will? In comes Poland, who never stopped making them. It can't be any more perfect than this. Poland has always been coming in so clutch for Ukraine. Wait, so what was going on here? Was Poland just not listening to NATO, or? Oh nah, guys, the Galactic Empire just pulled up to France. If giant AT-ATs are gonna start walking anywhere, it's obviously gonna be France. I mean, apparently even the Flash himself showing up. They got everything. What if we just prepare a drone show over villages without sewers in Russia, become their god, and make them overthrow the Russian government? Talk about playing some 4D chess right here. Everyone just wants to do these drone shows over uncontacted tribes. Why don't we turn it up a little bit? Let's get real crazy out here. Ooh, what do we have here? It's US independence. Oh wait, they're being held up by the French army, the French navy, and French money. We recently celebrated our Independence Day here in the US, 4th of July, yet this seems to be a pretty big fact that everyone forgets about. It's funny because we probably meme the French more than anyone else, yet we'd still probably be drinking a whole lot of tea if it wasn't for them. Ukraine must meet NATO standards before joining, says a European NATO microstate with an aerobics class pretending to be an army 1,000 kilometers away from Russia that joined NATO for kicks. Then there's Ukraine knowing it needs to destroy the reason of NATO's existence to join. Probably one of those things where hopefully with time they'll just figure it all out. Absolutely no one. Drunk Americans playing with fireworks on the 4th of July. I didn't want to have 10 fingers anyways. If you elect me president, I promise you, the American people, that this will be the first thing a country sees when we start an unnecessary war with them. I guess that entertainment factor is big for this presidential candidate. Gotta make sure the firework industry has a year-round business. Someone in the United States has no clue that this is their last weekend with all 10 fingers. Luckily, I still have all of mine, but that's pretty much because of a miracle. Should have blown one off a long time ago by now. Fireworks sent 15,000 people to the hospital last year. Wait, what happens to the kid named Finger, though? My brain when 7-year-old me learned about Navy SEALs for the first time. Isn't there 6 of them that are really powerful? Keep hearing about this team of 6 that actually took out Bin. When it's Canada Day, but nobody's talking about it. Aw, sad moose noises. Unfortunately, everyone skips out on Canada Day. I mean, to be fair, I always forget about Canada Day because I share my birthday with Canada Day. I guess I'm a lot more Canadian than I thought. The Dutch government, after finding out that they've been at war with an island in the English Channel for over 300 years. It's crazy because you know there's probably one Dutch guy that's still involved in that war. He's been waiting his entire life to do the invasion himself. Now, fortunately, this 300+ year war was brought to an end in the 1980s. But man, oh man, could you imagine if the Netherlands just decided to randomly do a little bit of trolling? When you realize every flag left on the moon turned white, which makes the moon territory of France. And don't let this meme fool you, it's not just a meme. Remember that France actually did just straight up have a white flag, and no, it wasn't because they surrendered. And it's also not just like they had it for a year, they had it for 15 years. I guess the moon is pretty white, so it fits with that. Did France just overnight become the biggest country in the universe? Just realize the last day of 2023 will be 12/31/23, December 31st, 2023, or 123/123. Oh my goodness. And I thought I didn't have a reason to live anymore. Oh yeah, but that is only for the US. Okay, I guess our weird system of putting the month, day, year finally is paying off. That literally literally never happens. Finland, who has 6 brigades on standby, versus New Zealand, can't raise even 1 brigade. To be fair, there's actually a pretty good reason for them to have 6 brigades on standby. One country is literally directly next to Russia, who likes to invade their neighbors. Meanwhile, the other usually gets left off most maps. You don't need an army when most of the world forgets you even exist over here. Talk about galaxy brain move right there. Ukrainian soldiers say they owe lives to US supplied Bradley vehicles. Here they are saying, an angel? No, just functioning armor. Now get in my butt if you want to live. Talk about a phrase you wouldn't have to say twice for me to listen. I'm jumping on in there. How 10-year-old me acted to miss school. Okay, I need to make sure that my eyes seem like they are bleeding out of their sockets. I also need to probably have convulsions and maybe perhaps fall into a coma. Man, this game, Plague Inc., teaches the kids so much out there. Probably way more than the schools do. Giant kites could pull cargo ships across the ocean and slash their carbon emissions. How about let's just go back to the good old days? That sounds like a better idea. It's almost as if we were already using giant kites to pull boats across oceans. Who would have thought? Me traveling back in time to the Middle Ages to meet my favorite Vikings, only to find out they're completely different people from history I know. Oh, is it because there were like 1,000 different Vikings named just Leif? I knew Leif Erikson single-handedly just did all the things the Vikings did. It was actually just one dude. I don't understand why the British couldn't stop that guy. No, but for reals, why did Vikings have like the coolest names ever? They seem so terrifying. Russian Anon says, I've got draft paper in the mail. German Anon says, you're gonna play in the NBA? It's weird going from a time to be drafted was a horrible thing, then being drafted was a really good thing because you're gonna be rich. Now we're going back to, I don't know. Trends always just go back and forth in ways. I don't think I want to be drafted in general, even if it isn't to a sports league. Society, if everyone was just a clone of myself. This made me actually think what it would be like if there was just like a billion different Drews out there. Civilization would literally collapse in a single day. Chinese propagandists accidentally making America look super cool as possible in their work. Maybe there's still a rivalry there, but they still think we're cool or something. I just can't wait for them to drop a straight up Chinese anime about us. You know it's gonna slap. People in 500 BCE when Pythagoras drew a triangle. Yo! Imagine them following up the wheel with this thing. There will never be a better release. It also couldn't have come out from a guy with a cooler name. Why don't I name my son Pythagoras? I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. It's been so long.
Pythagoras.
Okay, I think I still got it. Be the American the Japanese think you are. And apparently all of China is following in Japan's footsteps here. Always showing us just super cool, making us really epic and based. Thanks, guys. We need to return the favor, actually. So if Imperial Japan plus nuke equals anime, then what would happen if Russia plus nuke? Is it still going to be a new animation style, or is it going to be like that sort of creativity in just a completely different genre? I'm hoping for the latter. Wait, but wouldn't that mean we're dooming our grandkids to just love this stuff, no matter what it is? Maybe this will backfire, actually. Instead of drawings, what if it's just like the craziest vodka of all time? Everyone just becomes alcoholics. US Mint, please use dollar coins. They last longer than dollar bills. Meanwhile, Americans, yeah, it's gonna be a no for me, dog. Going back to coins always sounds cool until you're carrying like 25 pounds worth of metals in your pocket. I don't think I would like to do that. The imperial system with all their random numbers and random letters, I guess, in there too, versus metric system users. What? I now just realized how much time I wasted in school when I could have been just like on the metric system. We could have taken a day to learn all this. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of multiple counts of oofing and arson. Me about to pull out my ukulele. With one song, I'm gonna avoid spending 25 years in prison, since ukuleles seem to be really popular right now. Can't even remember how to play this. That's the best it's gonna be. The Barbie versus Oppenheimer search results. Which country wants to see which movie more? And unfortunately, Barbie is just completely dominating the Americas besides Panama and Chile. And what am I talking about? I want to see Barbie 2, to be honest. I just kind of want to see Oppenheimer more. Not surprised that Japan wants to see Barbie more. Oppenheimer's gonna be a little bit awkward to watch there. Germany only wants to watch Barbie more because they still feel like they should have been the ones to build the bomb first. They're still kind of mad about that. This is quite the Cold War we have going on here, though. Paris is so romantic. I want to travel there, says Japan, China, South Korea, and Singapore. No, Paris is crappy. Don't go there. Meanwhile, after these countries visit Paris and they get a severe case of Paris syndrome, basically a sense of extreme disappointment exhibited by some individuals when visiting Paris. I told you so, says this Frenchman. I want to say I feel like this city doesn't get overhyped as much in the US. Maybe in certain places. I definitely wasn't overhyped to see Paris. Maybe it's more in this part of Asia. Big thanks to my patrons. I have cloned Drew and I'm now training him him to fight the imposter doing these videos.
Subscribe to Drew now.
John Denver.
Australia is
I am
real.
the
I am
kidnapper,
not
and I
a
oof
paid
off
actress.
fat
No
Norwegian
more.
Argentinian
Caleb
grandpa.
Henson.
Amateur Archaeology.
Inquisitor.
KirinoIsBestGirl.
Luxembourg
Luxembourg
Lover.
Robert.
The Polish-Lithuanian
RyeThePie.
Commonwealth.
The Mexican
Twickenhamster.
And why am I
ZaneyBoi.
doing this?